The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
My name is Jasmine, and I am a recovering drug addict.
My name is Richie Farrell, aka the Old White Junkie.
And we are your hosts for Exit Team Nashua.
Our mission is to bring recovery into the living room.
Last year, over 72,000 Americans died of an accidental overdose.
That's almost 200 Americans every single day.
We will bring you guests with real-life experiences with addiction and recovery. Welcome to Exit Team Nashua. Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I am the host of Exit Team Nashua. And if this is your first time tuning in, Exit Team is a show where our mission statement is to bring recovery into your living room. We have guests on the show who have real-life experiences with addiction, trauma, and suffering. The guests come on the show to share their experience, strength, and hope, and offer resources. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to do this show, and I'm really excited about today's guest. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. We thought maybe we could spend 30 minutes talking about puppies.
I'm totally up for that.
Puppies are the solution to the opioid epidemic.
It was a solution for me. My life changed.
Really? Let me tell you about a time I got a puppy and lived homeless with the puppy.
Instantaneously became well.
Didn't work. Didn't go that way for me. Now I have a puppy, and thank God that I have coping skills because that dog, woo!
It's like a mini child.
Yes, yeah.
That I love.
Yeah, I love my dog too, but he's a lot of work.
Yeah.
What brings you on Exit Team Nashua?
Well, you asked me to come.
I did not. I did not. I'm literally shooting a show with Tashima, and you showed up.
I do that, man. I do that.
Of course I invited you.
No, I believe in helping others and carrying the message of recovery. And every time I get an opportunity to do that, I don't really ask questions. I just show up. I know I was here a couple months ago, but is there too much sharing experience, strength, and hope? Is that even a thing?
I for a while, sometimes come every month, so it's fine.
You do.
Yeah.
Every single month.
Well, if you ask the camera guys, I haven't been here for a couple months. But I'm here today, and that's all that matters.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Oh my God, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, on a serious note though, so you're a person in recovery.
I am.
And so I have the honor and privilege of knowing you and knowing you actually very well.
Yeah.
And we historically have done a lot of advocacy work together.
We've done a lot.
We have, yeah, which it's been really exciting. But our viewers and our social media platform, they don't know you. So tell me like a little bit about you, what qualifies you to be on this show, because it's really about connecting to the emotion and letting people know, like if this is what you're going through, that's okay. I understand. Like there's a way out. This is where I was and this is where I'm at now.
Right. Well, to qualify, I'm an addict in long-term recovery. I have 4.5 years clean and sober.
Wow.
God willing.
Yeah.
Didn't get there on my own. But my story is that I grew up in a household with a mother that suffered from mental health and, addiction. And as far as I can remember, I've always felt uncomfortable in my own skin, insecure, confused. I've always had a low self-esteem. I've always had an overwhelming urge to be embraced or validated or noticed or known. I've always had a God-sized hole inside of me.
How early can you identify with those feelings?
Oh my God, real early. I'd say.
What is that? I was going to say, what does that look like for you as a child? Just because I remember the first time I had the awareness, like, holy cow, my problem started way before alcohol and drugs. But I needed someone to like literally break that down for me to be able to connect with the emotion, like looking back to when I was a child.
I don't think I became aware until I came into recovery.
Yeah.
But I do remember as a child, and I could look back and I could pinpoint all of these isms of an alcoholic or an addict. Like I remember being a kid and feeling so insecure and, even without a substance, finding outside solutions to inside problems and using like toys obsessively and compulsively and creating
What were the
stages of
toys?
fantasy. Oh, my toys?
Yeah. Because I did My Littlest Pet Shop.
I was a 90s baby, so like I used like Pogs like an
Oh
addict
my God,
would.
Pogs! I forgot
Yeah,
about
I
those.
used Pogs like an addict would, or Connects.
Yeah. Hold on, I don't know Connect.
They're like Legos, but much better.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Duck Hunt.
I don't know of a Connects land, but I do know of a Legos land. So Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would use these things
Yeah.
like I would use a drug. I would use them to suppress my emotions and my feelings and the fact that mom wasn't home or the fact that I was just scared of life on life's terms.
So you were in like a lot of emotional turmoil and very fearful. And like you felt uncomfortable in your own skin, but you found like toys and things like that, and you could get into that, and the effect produced by that would make you feel okay. And when I say effect produced, like when you were doing those things and you did them obsessively because they were the only thing that provided any kind of relief to make you feel okay.
100%.
Okay, cool.
I was definitely using those things for effect.
Yeah.
But like, just like I use drugs for effect, you know, like after I got done using these things, I put them down, and those same emotions and feelings that I was trying to run away from were instantaneously there, just like they instantaneously went away. And that's like what my life looked like, is like using people, places, and things and patterns and behaviors and excuses and lies and manipulation and you name it, to run away from the reality that I have the disease of addiction. If gone untreated, it's going to consume my life in every area of my life.
So you were constantly running from your feelings.
Running away.
Because like you obviously didn't suffer from like being physically dependent, which you and I, because we're well educated in this, would call a phenomenon of craving or an allergy, you know?
Yeah.
But so like before you were physically dependent, you were running from feelings and how you felt, and you were using anything to adjust and shift the way that you felt.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, for as long as I can remember.
And so how old are you the first time you picked up?
I mean, it's kind of sad that like I guess I would be qualified as a late bloomer. But like the first time I picked up, I was about almost 15 years old.
Oh, late bloomer.
Yeah. You know what I
Late
mean?
bloomer.
But
What'd you
it
pick up?
rapidly took off.
Yeah. I mean, I
Rapidly.
believe that. After knowing you, I believe that. Well, what did you pick up when you first picked up?
I am not unique. It started with, you know, the weed, then the coke, and then the perks, and then after the perks was the heroin and the cocaine, the heroin and the ecstasy. Like it wasn't a one drug. I used just anything I could get my hands on.
So 15 were high school.
Yeah.
How are you doing academically?
Terrible.
Terrible. Okay. All right.
Terrible. Always getting suspended from school. My poor father always had to pick me up or find me another alternative school to go to because they couldn't handle my patterns and my behaviors. Always just creating
not
chaos.
only are you just like very uncomfortable in your skin, but you're also acting out behaviorally.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So at the age of 15, you find substances and it progresses very quickly for you.
Yes.
What starts happening then?
Well, first off, I fall in love with using the substances and the lifestyle that comes along with it. And before you know it, man, like I'm doing absolutely anything just to get that next one. Stealing from my family, in and out of incarceration.
At this point, is it because you still like the feeling and the effect produced, or so? Because there was a point for me where like drinking and drugging was great, you know.
Yeah.
It did everything for me, and whenever someone tells me like it didn't work for me, I'm like, you must have done it wrong, because it worked for me until it didn't. And when it didn't work for me was when I was beyond human aid, when I had lost the ability to stop no matter how bad the desire.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, my experience is very similar. Like, when you break it all down, when I did use with the people that I used, I got that acceptance, that, you know, that fake kind of love and stuff like that. And it was fun, for a little bit. And then it wasn't, because I now needed these things to function throughout my life.
And that's when we start doing the incomprehensible, demoralizing things, you know.
100%.
You know, like, yeah. Which
100%.
I carried so much guilt and shame for such a very long time. And I spent a large portion of my life like, um, I always hear people like, well, you just need to believe, you just need to believe. And I'm like, I don't need to believe because I have all kinds of belief systems, you know, and my entire life, my belief systems told me things like, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you're a loser. So I didn't need a belief system. I needed to have an experience to discover myself and who I really was, because I wasn't none of those delusional thoughts that I told myself. Now, I believed that I was a loser and all of those things because of, you know, I carried a lot of guilt and shame because of the heinous things that I did to get my
100%.
next high, and also because of trauma.
Yeah.
You know, being subjected to trauma, like a lot of trauma at a very early age, all throughout, you know, my life. And even when I became old enough to make my own decisions and remove myself from traumatic situations, I would create that trauma cycle over
'Cause it was
and over.
comfortable.
Yes, the chaos and the hurt and the pain and the suffering
It's a
was all
comfortable
I
state of
knew.
mind for us.
Yeah, even though it's not comfortable, it was more comfortable than finding peace and settling in the peace.
100%. It was
Yeah.
the same thing for me. Like, that was a comfortable state in mind for me to be in, like not knowing like where mom was and like trying to use things to cover that up. It became natural to me. So anything that was like fruitful, abundant, or healthy was really
hell
uncomfortable.
no,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I wanted no parts of
Even
that.
still sometimes today, like someone completely healthy will want to do something like completely normal, like me.
Yeah, I'm a stay home bud.
Yeah.
No,
I'm at work.
no, it was it was 100% trauma. And you
Yeah.
know, part that I didn't, you know, speak about is that like before I used all this, I had untreated trauma and I was
Mhm.
treating myself. Like I lost my mom due to her mental health and her substance use disorder when I was 14. And then it was like a domino effect, a manifestation of the disease. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It will take two for one if it has the opportunity to do so. And it did.
Mhm.
It took my mother, and then a year later, it you know, it had me by the grips. And, you know, I spent my whole entire life trying to treat that self-sufficiently. I'm not a medical professional, you know, I'm not a therapist, you know, like I don't have the ways and means to treat myself. And it wasn't until I came into recovery that I could stop running from those. And, you know, now my biggest traumas are my biggest assets now.
Yeah,
It's
very
wild.
true. Yeah, right. So what happened in your life like to make that shift? Because for the longest time, like I desired to be a different way.
Yeah,
But I couldn't figure out how that to do it, and I'm trying not to swear. Right, but I like I knew I didn't want to be the way that I was, and I didn't know how I wanted to be, but I knew how I was living and what I was doing was really painful, and I was tired of the pain. I didn't know what to do or what shift to make. Like, what happened to you?
100%. Same again, same experience. Like I've always wanted change. I've always wanted to be um who my father raised me to be. I just never knew how to, right? But like for me, what it came down to is that I had to run out of every single option. I had to pull every lie out of the book.
Mm.
I had to manipulate every single person. I had to relapse and come back and relapse and come back and relapse and come back. My gift of desperation looked a lot like I had no other option but recover or the other alternative, which my mother had.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, I was kind of forced into recovery, you know what I mean? And a huge thing for me is people talk about these big wild spiritual, you know, shifts in their life. Like my spiritual shift was when my drug of choice stopped doing what I needed it to do for me. When I could use a narcotic but still feel so empty and broken and lost and confused,
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to do something different.
Yeah.
But again, I started to do something different and in and out of treatment, in and out of detoxes, different geographical changes. It didn't click until it clicked for me.
Right.
And I think a huge part of it, now that I look back, is that what freed me from that was honesty.
No
I just
shit.
had to get honest. And, you know, like the fellowship that I'm part of and the people that have instilled these principles inside of me, you know, instilled the idea that honesty is the antidote to the disease of addiction. And unless I'm honest with you and tell you these deep, profound emotions that I have going on, I can't seek a solution for it. And my disease dies in the light of exposure. So every time I talk about it with another addict or alcoholic or an ally, I don't have to carry that alone. So it was being broken and being willing at the same time that, brought me into recovery. But it took a very long time. Like I tell people all the time, like, if this is your 100th time coming back, like, welcome.
Yeah.
If this is your first time, welcome. You know what I mean? It's your process for a reason. You know what I mean? And my process unfolded the way my higher power and my God wanted it to. I'm powerless over everything other than that. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild, man.
It's pretty crazy, because as you're sharing, there were many thoughts that came to mind, because there's so much controversy today, because I think people are so desperate to want things to get better, and for their loved ones to get better, and for themselves to get better. And so there's so much controversy around what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And as you were sharing, like I heard rock bottom. Like you had to hit rock bottom. And like,
Yes.
my experience was I had to hit rock bottom. I needed every member of my life to write me off. I had to literally be homeless, squatting in an abandoned house. I had to have no resources left at all. And like, I had to be so broken that for me, like the desire to live was gone.
Yeah, 100%.
But and then there are like studies out there where people are like, well, the tough love approach doesn't work. The tough love, and I've heard people's stories completely different than ours, and they're like, thank God my family never shut the door on me. I'd be dead if they did. And I'm like, Jesus, I'd be dead if my family didn't shut the door on me.
Right.
And so I guess the point that I'm trying to get across to the viewers is like, your way worked for you and my way worked for me. And I'm a firm believer that women that need what I have in my way will come to me. Naturally, they will just be gravitated towards me. But
100%.
if someone is watching and strongly disagrees with that, like that's okay. Because there are other guests on the show that, had a much softer landing and a lot more support. And that's what they needed.
Yes.
That would have killed me. I would have been dead if people kept enabling me and allowing me to sleep under their roof and giving me money and providing for me. I would 100% be dead. And then also another thing that I was thinking of is that you shared is, the antidote to this is honesty. And like, that's true for me too. And so many people are dying, like every day people are dying. I just found out yesterday that someone that I know and care about, overdosed and they're in a coma.
Right.
And so I guess what I'm getting at with all of this is like, I have to be rigorously honest. I have to do all these things. And I know that, and I know that's my truth. But sometimes a lot of people strongly disagree with me and what I do and how I do it. And my advocacy is simply for those who need the way out that I have.
100%.
That's it. By no means am I telling anyone you have to walk the way I walk or you're going to die. You might die. But I'm not telling you you're going to die.
Right.
You might walk the way I walk and still die. Shit, I might die, right?
Yeah.
I could get off the beam and die, And so
100%.
I think that you brought up a very good point. You know what I mean? Like you had to have every experience that you had to have, and your journey is unique to you for whoever it is that you're meant to help. Because for someone such as myself, I'm called to serve.
If I'm not serving, I mean, my life goes into the insanity tornado, clean and sober. I have to.
Dude, I love that.
It does.
Yes.
I have to give back what I have. I have to help another addict. I have to do what I do if I want to. Yes, I love helping people, right? And that's like a huge piece of like who I am. But like it also keeps me free from myself, right? People don't understand, and you touched on it. Like, you have to do these things. Like, what comes along, another thing that shifted my whole entire life is that I realized that I am not responsible for the disease that I have, but I am absolutely responsible for treating that with my recovery. And I have to do things around here. I have to serve, and I have to be of service to other people, and I have to seek help myself. Like, I see a therapist. Like, I go to 12-step meetings. Like, I have a sponsor. I do step work. Like, I continue to overcome, and I continue to help people, tell people how I overcome certain situations through continuously staying embedded in the recovery community.
What has doing that given you?
Of life beyond my wildest dreams.
What does that
Relationships that are fruitful and just so amazing.
mean?
It's given, my father the ability to not sleep with the phone next to his pillow, waiting for a phone call that will destroy him and everybody else around him. It's given me the opportunity to, impact many people's lives and, just be available. Like, to make a promise and to actually, when I say something, follow through. It's not just a manipulation scheme. Wildest thing in the whole world. I used to get high over all emotions. Super
Yeah.
Bowl, getting high.
Yeah.
Funeral, getting high. Nick at Night, getting high. Like everything
Yeah.
like that had some sort of emotion. Like what it's given me, I've gotten a lot, man, but like the last 2 years, like I one of the men I've looked up to my whole entire life was my grandfather. And he's never turned his back on me like my father's never turned his back on me. And my grandfather got dementia 2 years. And like, I remember 2 years ago, because of the recovery community and people that helped mold me, I'm an individual, I did not know how to live when I came here. And I looked him in the face and I said to him, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but do you trust me? And he didn't bat an eye, and he said yes, because he knew I was clean and I was sober. And my word held value to him. And I said, I don't know what the result is, but I'm going to take every step with you, and I'm going to hold your hand till the very end. And he didn't ask how I'm going to do that. And he just said, okay, I know. And like what recovery's given me is like stuff like this. Is like I just spent the last 2 years like helping him out with everything. Like getting him ready to, transition back to Massachusetts to be with his family, working with my family, putting his assets into assisted living, like doing real adult stuff, not getting high in the meantime of doing it, highly relying on my God and my experienced members, that have been through similar stuff. And it was a crazy process. And I drove home. And with him, I drove him home. We got him into assisted living. In the last couple months of his life, he was with his family. He was the happiest I've ever seen another man. And like, when he passed away, my hand was in his. It was the craziest thing. It's like being able to withhold a promise so strong and just doing it because I could put together one day clean at a time. It's wild.
Powerful.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's like, yeah, there's materialistic things, but it's like my friends and the people I love and I care about, like if I look at you and I say, I got you, they know I do. It's crazy.
For me, the materialistic things came back quick.
Yeah.
They came back quick, like materialistic, yeah. One of the most amazing things that being in recovery has given me is self-love and self-confidence and like the ability to know who I am and to look the world in the eye and to like, I have a very fierce and bold spirit and I know that about me and like I can unapologetically be myself.
Yes.
And it's the most amazing feeling ever because I spent my whole entire life doubting who I was and not wanting to be me. And now today I don't want to be anyone other than me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's such a good feeling. Vice versa. And, like you said a little while ago, like some people love it, some people don't. But God has a natural sorting process. All we got to be is our true, authentic selves.
Yeah.
And people are going to come and they're going to go. But if we're honest and we help others, we're fulfilling our purpose. And it all starts with one day sober. It's a journey, man. It's super cool, and I love it. I love you. You're one of the people that are always there for me in our little circle.
Yeah.
This is the best stuff, man.
It's
And
cool.
the materialistic things, they come and they go.
And they're nice. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not above that, but it's not like the end all be all for me. Like, I don't need materialistic things to be okay with myself. Like, I am okay with myself. I like to have them, but you can take them.
Right.
I will still be okay.
100%.
You also got a dog.
I got a dog. Yeah, I got a dog. He's my life, man.
Tell me about your dog.
Oh, he's the best dog ever in the
Bubba.
whole
Well,
world. His
my
name's
dog
Bubba.
might be the best dog ever, but
We don't have to do this live. We're not going to do this live.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Damn it.
yeah.
There was my mic.
My dog's the best. I don't know how to explain it. It's just he's always there when I need him to be there. The unconditional love that this provides, he blows that out of the water.
Is your dog, so I also recently got a dog. A year ago I got a dog. So I got him at 5 weeks old, so he's a little over a year. This dog is through the roof with energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, he'll be so excited to see me, but he will literally come running at me 10,000 miles an hour, smashing his big head off mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't mean to hurt me. He's literally all emotion and no brain. Like, this dog is just his emotions are so crazy, they run him.
Right. Bubba's the same way. I mean, he ate a whole entire air conditioner last summer.
Oh my God, what?
I wasn't even mad. I was just like,
It's impressive.
that's impressive.
He ate the air conditioner.
Like, he didn't
digest it.
Yeah,
but he chewed
he
it up.
ripped the whole, it was this.
Was it in the window?
Huh?
Was it in the window?
Yes.
Oh
He
my God.
pulled it out and then just went to town.
Wow.
And then there was also a couch and another couch. Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the best.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
For anyone watching that might be struggling or just think that they can't make it, what would you say to them?
I would say just keep staying around, keep asking for help, and be okay. People all the time want to be farther along in their process than they are, and they need to realize that they're exactly where they're supposed to be. And if they just hang on and keep an open mind, a whole different life opens up. So just keep staying and keep trying and never give up.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. For anybody watching, if you have any questions or you want to get connected with Maddie has a plethora of resources. We didn't even talk about the resources and all the advocacy work that you do. If you want to get connected with Maddie, go ahead and reach out to us on our Facebook page. I'm a heroin addict and would be more than happy to connect you with Maddie. As always, thank you for sharing your time with us.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.